If the Radical Pedersen has a true modern equivalent, it is Moulton. Alex Moulton's 30-year refusal to build conventional machines has led to some of the cycling world's most controversial bicycles.
There we go.
The main concern for Moulton is the size of the wheel.
Now, if one looks at the difference between the two, I suggest that you'll find that the fundamental difference is the size of the wheel. Now, from the point of view of riding position, if I draw this one, which is the top of the range, Jubilee, and put it in top of that classical one underneath, and by the way, this guy has his riding position rather low, you see a similarity of the position of the handlebars, a similarity of the position of the saddle, and the bottom bracket height is similar to that of the conventional. The wheelbase, which is the distance between where the wheels touch the ground, is a little bit longer on the Moulton bicycle. When I originally studied the question of trying to improve the bicycle, back in the late 1950s, I looked at the whole configuration of the man in relation to his machine. It struck me that if only one could reduce the size of the wheel from the conventional 27 inches, we could completely open up the arrangement and layout of the bicycle while retaining the conventional riding position. So that was, if you like, the thrust of it.
Reducing the size of the wheel, and so the length of the spokes, produces a harsh, choppy ride. Moulton also insists on high-pressure tyres to keep rolling resistance low. To overcome this firm ride and hard tyres, he's developed a unique and ingenious suspension system.
Let's have a look at the front suspension. It is a leading link fork. The movement is in this arcuate way there on these leading links. The fork itself here is for steering the bicycle, and the load from the spindle comes up here through what we call the stirrup, and then it compresses this spring, which is inside the steering column, and there's a height adjustment there for the different weight of rider. And importantly, in there are polyurethane Coulomb damping or friction damping washers which provide the damping. So that's the front suspension. Then the rear suspension is the seat tube here, and this is the rear triangle with the rear wheel would be there. So and it is pivoted on a pivot here at the bottom bracket there, and this triangle compresses this compression and shear bonded rubber spring, meaning that as it presses in, it partly shears the bonded rubber and partly compresses it, which gives a constant frequency. So it's quite a subtle little solution for the rear suspension. The vehicle structure should have the maximum stiffness as the base from which the articulation of the suspension takes place. In other words, it would be hopeless to have soft wheels mounted upon a flexible frame if you wanted to have the best possible stability, particularly in high-speed descents.
Whether all this complexity offers an advantage over the designs of Cinelli, Raleigh or the Taylors is debatable. As with everything associated with bicycles, fashion and mythology play a large part. The original Moulton bicycle matched the Issigonis Mini for ingenuity. Indeed, Moulton and Issigonis collaborated on rubber suspension for the Mini. But his bicycle was swamped by cheaper imitations, offering none of Moulton's design flair. Today, advocates of his small-wheeled machines are prepared to pay almost £2,000 for one of his hand-built creations.
One of the charms about these bicycles is that they're so easy. You could ride them so slowly and so gently. And somebody said, goodness me, it's like riding on a velvet-covered I-beam. An I-beam, of course, is something that's immensely stiff. And velvet covered is rather nice because it's protected by the suspension. And then you see, apart from just dribbling about like this, I mean, you can accelerate. And you can corner, much better road holding. It grips into the ground. Go over that. Altogether, the dynamics of the thing are much better than the conventional, which is one of my aspirations of making a better bike.